Hey, before we get into today's episode, if you're a podcast host or guest, listen up. I've produced over 200 podcast episodes and guested on 50 podcasts just in 2025 alone. And let me tell you, nothing grows your audience or builds trust faster than being in front of the right listeners. That's why I created my podcast tour offer. I'll help you map out your topics, strategize your message, and find you the most aligned podcasts and audiences to get you and your business in front of. So if you've ever thought, I just wish more eyes were on my work, this is your sign. Let's get you on a podcast tour. You can find all the details in the show notes. Just look for podcast tour. Now let's dive into today's episode. So maybe you decided that a podcast tour is right for you, but you're waiting for the right time. I know that timing can feel important. I agree. I've done this before when I've hired a coach. Like, should I do it now? Do I need it more in the fall? Budget, all these things come into play. Here's the thing. Most people are waiting for the air quotes right time without really even knowing what they're waiting for. And so today's episode, I'm going to walk you through exactly how the process works for a podcast tour, how to know when the timing is right for you so that you can sort of backwards plan. The former teacher in me loves that. A good backwards plan to create the right timing for your podcast tour and how to make sure that that works for you in your season of business. First of all, a lot of people that aren't in the podcasting space, or if you are, maybe it's worse if you are in the podcasting space, have this idea that podcast guesting can take forever to get going. But while there is this little bit of a lull, it can also speed up your business so fast. I have literally had clients who have booked 5 to 7 shows in a day, and you don't have to do it that fast. But because of the framework and the system that I have set up where the shows are so aligned and I help them lay out their niche speaking topics and they can present those to the host in the pitch, it's just going to speed up the process. It's going to set you apart from other people that are just reaching out randomly. Anyway, that's a different episode. So the process looks like this. I get your niche speaking topics laid out. We're going to use it as if you sign up with a tour for me. But if you're not and you're DIYing it, just think of it slightly different. Laying out your niche speaking topics, figuring that out, coming up with a list of aligned podcast shows that match up really well with you, and then getting this pitch template ready. I do all of that in the tour. So I get that done when you book and fill out your short form. I will send that back to you within 2 to 5 business days, usually closer to 2 instead of 5 currently. Although the other week I had 4 in a day. So then that got closer to 5, but still 5 tops. Okay. Then you're going to start reaching out quick DMs, quick emails, however you feel best to reach out to these hosts, just quick presenting your speaking topics, saying you can bring a lot of value to your shows. You can send them all at once. You can do a couple a day. Some will have application forms. You can fill all the forms out at once. That's up to you. So you're kind of in charge of that speed. If you had an hour, you could knock out a lot of pitches and that type of thing. So then you got to wait for the host to respond. Usually people are going to answer a DM pretty quick. Emails tend to take a little bit longer. And when the host says yes, then they'll email you or send you their calendar link to get booked on their show. You get to pick a time that works for you because it's done remotely. And then you record. Now, I have gotten on people's calendars and booked like that same week or the next week. That part doesn't have to be super long, but you can look at your calendar, and if it works better to be pushing it out, at least you get on their calendar. So then you know that visibility is coming later. So anyways, then the episode gets recorded. The host will let you know the timing of when they're looking to air it. And this really varies from show to show. I'm usually working a few months ahead. Not all shows are. I've been on shows where it gets aired the next week. A lot of times it's a couple weeks, but usually within a month. And sometimes it's longer, but you get to ask that and the host should be able to tell you like how many episodes they have before you. Okay, so that's the process. So let's say like 2 to 4 weeks from deciding I'm going to do a podcast tour to getting that first episode aired, right? As short as 2 weeks, but as long as maybe 4. Okay, knowing that, here's some scenarios you can figure out. I'm going to give you some questions for you to answer in your head while you're listening to this. But do you have a launch coming up? Like, do you have a new offer, a program, product, maybe even a book? And is it launching in the next 60 to 90 days, like in the next quarter of time, right? Because if it's coming up that fast, then right now, the second you're listening to this, get going on your podcast tour. Like, you want these episodes airing in the week or 2 leading up to this launch so that new people are coming over. They're downloading your lead magnet. You're getting their emails. And so when these launch emails go out and when your launch content on socials or wherever you're putting all this stuff, when that starts going out, they're going to be there. New people are going to be there. As many people as possible that are very aligned with you. When you follow my tour framework, they're going to be there, and that's going to make your launch go so much better. So you can kind of think like 60 to 90 days of the launch prior, get that tour going. Maybe you're in a rebrand or like you're repositioning things, you're shifting your niche, your message, getting more specific about who you serve. Like you're in this little bit of a pivot, little bit of a rebrand. Yes, you can make a post on socials to announce this rebrand. You can send out an email to announce it. But think about if you started guesting on podcasts during this time when you're getting these repositioned and now these episodes start airing with your new content, with their new messaging on top of you posting and you sharing within your already built audience and community. This is going to really signal to the market that this is who I am now. And it's going to establish you in this new space. It's going to help you get in front of that ideal client. That's a really good time. Like I know it can be like really busy and chaotic in the middle of that, but if you can start getting booked on some shows and recording during that, when that then gets published, the episode and your rebrand, it's going to be like magic timing together. Do you have a lead magnet or freebie ready to go? This is another question because it's really important that you have somewhere to send someone that's evergreen, that when someone gets to this podcast episode, say 6 months later, and they find it, they listen to it, and they get to the end of the episode, and it's like, hey, yeah, go to this link. If you love this episode, like this is your next step, put in your email address. You don't want that link to be gone because it was time sensitive and it's now gone, right? Having that ready, an ongoing evergreen lead magnet where the link is still going to be there 6 months later or more, that is key when thinking about like, am I ready for a podcast tour? Is my timing right? Like get that ready. Maybe it's a free resource, a free community, a free masterclass, whatever it is, but it's that next step. Like once you've been on the show, you've guested on your topic, what's the next step in the client journey? That's your lead magnet. And it's something that you should have ready before getting on tour. Are you craving visibility, but dreading social media? This was me in January 2025. You feel like starting new social media channels sounds terrible. You feel like the best kept secret in business. You wish more eyes were on your stuff, your new offers, all these things. That type of feeling is another good sign that podcast guesting is your answer. You've been avoiding showing up online because you're sick of the algorithm. It's making you exhausted. Podcast guesting can be your answer. You record once, one conversation, and it's weeks of content and visibility. And I have an episode on this coming up of what you can do after, how you can change the episode into different forms of content, blogs, social posts, etc., long after it airs without having to find trending audios, dance on TikTok. I mean, I do love a good dancing reel, but I don't want to feel like I have to do it all the time, right? All right, the big takeaway is you don't need everything to be perfect to start, but there are a few things that I went through that should. Clear message, a place to send people to, and just also a window of availability, right? You can carve out an hour in your week to get on a show, but the rest is strategy, and that's what I'm here for, and I take care of inside the podcast tour. So if you want to make this so much faster and you want to get in the ears of the right people so much quicker, then go ahead and book your tour. It is linked in the show notes. Otherwise, good luck DIYing this. Get on those podcasts, make it happen. It's going to really compound for you and be such a game changer. All right, see you next week. Hey, before you go, if you've ever wished podcast guesting or hosting felt a little easier, you're going to love this. I started a free podcast matchmaking community where hosts and guests can actually connect, swap shows, and find aligned conversations without all the cold pitching and chaos. It's totally free, it's super fun, and it's growing every day. So whether you're looking to grow your audience, get in front of the right people, or just finally get your message out there, come join us. You can find the link in the show notes to join the community.